Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a Ruby application on our new World shared hosting infrastructure. So first you want to make sure you're logged in to World. Once you're logged in, you just, on this menu page, you just go to Languages, Ruby. So what we're going to be doing today is installing Redmine. We're going to be creating a database user, making sure that Redmine can connect to the database, running the migrations for Redmine. There's a few steps to it, and I'm just going to run through the whole process. So here we would see all of our Ruby apps on our account. Right now we have none, so I'm just going to go ahead and create a new one here. We're just going to pick Ruby 2.1 for our app directory. We're going to need to put in this field. So this is just the directory, the root directory of our application. We're just going to go ahead, call it Redmine. We pick our domain now. This is our main domain, so we pick that. And here is the path of our application. So what we could do is have it be called something like Redmine app, and this would be the root of our app. So we would basically be going to our domain, PlanetHosterDemoWorld.net, and then /Redmine app, and that would be the home page. But what we're going to do instead is just, we don't have any other sites on it, so we're just going to install it as our main site. Okay, good. I'm just going to open this up in a new tab. So I opened it up and it says it works, Ruby 2.1.8. So that should be the correct Ruby version. And it's just a little dummy message here just to show us that it's set up. So what we want to do now is follow the Redmine installation instructions. So here, I just looked up Redmine install, and the step one is to install the actual, go to the download page and install it. So we could do this, download it, unzip it locally, and then FTP it up to the server. Instead, what I'm just going to be doing is doing it directly on the server itself. So we're just going to SSH into the server, and I'll show you how to do that. So you go to the menu page, go to Files, SFTP Accounts. SFTP actually uses SSH, so these are going to be the same settings. This is our main user for the account, so it's already going to be there. We don't have to create this user. And we just click on here, and I'm going to show you how to SSH into the server. You just SSH the username. You put @ the host name, which is our domain. And then the port, we don't have to do this because 22 is the default SSH port, but it might not be 22 for you. And we put in our password. And now we're on the server. So we see that the Redmine folder actually got created. Let's change into it, and we'll see this rackup file, which Rails actually runs, or Passenger actually runs, which is Passenger is the web server. It's like Apache. So Passenger is the one that's actually running this file directly, and you see it says Ruby, it works, and then Ruby, and then the version. So this is just the dummy app that was created. So what we'll do is we're going to download Redmine. Let's take the latest release. We're just going to take this one, copy the address, use wget to retrieve it. And now we're going to unzip it. Okay, so we have Redmine 3.2.1 now. But we actually want this to be called Redmine because here, this is our sort of dummy app that we created. So what we can do is I'm just going to remove this Redmine folder completely. And then I'm going to rename or move this 321 to be called Redmine. So now I'm going to go into it. And now, if you're familiar with Rails, you'll see that this is actually a Rails application. And it has this rackup file as well. And this is going to run the Rails app. So next steps. That was step 1. Step 2, create an empty database and user for that database. We could do this in the MySQL client, but what we're going to do instead, it's easier, we can just do it with world. So we go back into the menu page, we go databases, let's create a user first. Oh, looks like we already have one. I'm just going to delete this user. I'm going to start from scratch. Okay, so I'm just going to refresh the page. Users, none found. Okay, let's create our user. You can call that whatever you want. I'm just going to call it Redmine. For the password, I would suggest generating a password and keeping that password somewhere safe. Make sure you copy it into a safe location. You have to check that you've copied it, and then save your user. Now we have to choose a database. It turns out we actually have done this before, so we do have a database. I'm just going to delete it for now. So we go back into databases. You should see none, so you create a new one. We can call it whatever we want, but I'm just going to stay simple and call it Redmine. And we now have to associate a user with this database. Oops. So we're going to edit the database, add a user. Oh, or we can edit the user, add a database. Same thing. There we go. Now we're going to actually give all privileges to this new user. We're just going to give all privileges at first because we need to create the tables, and afterwards we can drop back the privileges just to what the database actually needs, the user actually needs. So that's done. Step 2. That was step 2. We actually did all this. We created the database, created the user, granted privileges. Okay. Step 3. It says, I don't know if you can see that. It says copy config database YAML example to config database.yaml. I'm just going to actually also write the name demo pgbp Redmine, and that's for user and database. So we need to copy config database YAML example to config database YAML. And now we'll edit this file. We're just going to take the information that we gave. So the database and the username and the password of the user. Yeah, there we go. For the host, you actually can comment this out or just remove it completely. Instead, put socket. And this is a Unix domain socket that we're connecting to. You actually have to connect to this particular socket. var lib mysql mysql.sock. And this is sort of the socket that we need to connect to MySQL. This is for all world servers. So we don't need to edit any of the other environments. We're just going to run it in production. That's it. So now let's just go back here to step 4, dependency installation. So it says to install bundler. There is something we need to do before then, and if we actually read what was said when we created our Ruby app, then it would make a little more sense. So what it says is command for entering our application environment. Now, if you've ever used RVM or another Ruby Env or another sort of Ruby versioning tool, this is very similar. It's just going to create a little virtual environment for our application. So we just need to, whenever we're running gem install or rake or Ruby or bundle install, we need to be in our application. And you can see here we have this this prefix. And when we have this shell prompt little prefix like in parentheses here, this means we're in our virtual environment. So we're in it right now. So what we can do is install bundler. Okay, and now we can run bundle install. Oh, actually, we were supposed to run it without some groups here. We're not going to install the optional dependencies. So this takes a while sometimes. It has to compile some extensions. It has to go and download all of the libraries. All of these extensions should compile, no problem, the C extensions. If you do have a problem, you can just reach out, open a support ticket if you can't figure out the solution yourself, and we'll be happy to help. So we're just going to wait until this is done. This, of course, needs to be done only once. You install the dependencies only when you're setting it up. So let's just look ahead right now and see what's next. So we need to run something to generate a secret token, and then we need to run the migrations. Now, if you're ever not sure, you want to look up on how to do something, these servers are all using CentOS 7. So if there's a problem with, you can't figure something out, or you need to, I don't know, download some specific software, you should, you're not going to have access to Yum to install that software, but you can do it, you can always manipulate your path and install custom software like you want. So just keep in mind that these servers are all CentOS 7 servers. Okay, so everything finished without a hitch. Now we just need to generate that token. This is Redmine 2. I'm going to run this. Okay. Okay, yeah. I ran rake generate secret token, and it said loadair cannot load big decimal. This is actually unfortunately, this is a common problem with installations of Redmine. All you have to do is just add gem big decimal to your gem file. So that's your gem file. We just added gem big decimal. I'll go in there again and just show you the line. Gem big decimal, all one word. We can rebundle install, and it should just install that one thing. Good. Our secret token is generated. Now I'm getting actually some errors. I'm going to show you again. When I was running bundle exec, it was saying that bundler was not found. Okay, we're going to deal with this later. In that case, just run rake db migrate. You can forget the bundle exec for now until I explain more about that. So Rails env equals production, rake db migrate was the next step. And it says, these error messages are compounding a little bit together. It says can't connect to MySQL server through this socket. var lib MySQL. Pretty sure that was the... Oh, I misspelled it. You can see here I misspelled it. This is live. So let me just go back. Config database.yml. It was right here. MySQL. There was a couple of letters that were, if you see there, it said MS. So there we go. I'm going to run that command again to migrate the database. It's just creating tables. Okay, good. And that's done. Step 7. Load default data. Let's do that. Oh, we need to select our language. Select English. Okay. Now it says step 8, file system permissions. Okay, so we're making a bunch of folders. We don't have sudo access, keep in mind, so don't run this with sudo. Okay, it says we need to actually, and don't run this because this Redmine user actually doesn't exist on our. There is no Unix Redmine user for us. The web server is going to be run under our own user, so it's actually going to be run under this user and this group, which is fine. So you don't need to run this chown or chown step here to change the ownership. We do need to do this to change the file permissions. And now step 9, it says test the installation. And it tells you to actually run it with their built-in, with Ruby's built-in web server called WebRick. We don't need to do this. We have Passenger enabled, and hopefully it's going to work. So let's go back here to, this is our domain that we have. We're going to refresh the page. And there we go. Everything looks like it's working. If it doesn't work, one of the reasons could be if we look inside public, right now there's no file called, I'm sorry, not public. If we look inside temp, right now there's no file called restart.txt. But if we go ahead and read this, we can restart our application. We can have Passenger reload it anytime by clicking this, And what this does is it actually just runs this, and it just modifies the access time of this temp restart.txt file. So we're actually going to create this. And whenever we want to restart the app, we just have to run this touch command, and that restarts it. Alternatively, we could just actually restart it by clicking on this button. And what that does is it actually just reloads the code. It takes a while. You're going to notice that the first time you access it, refresh it, it's going to take a while, and then after that, it's going to be fast again. And there it is. We installed it. And it's now talking about backups. It's talking about other things. I do happen to know that, yeah, so step 10, it says to log into the application. The default login and password is admin. So if we sign in here, log in, we're logged in as the admin right now. So that was how to install Redmine. If you want to make Redmine accessible only to certain IP addresses or anything like this, all you need to do is go into your public HTML, and you'll see we have a .htaccess here. So this .htaccess, which is configuring the passenger and actually pointing to our application, here is where you can put your htaccess rules. If you want to only allow certain IP addresses or what have you, you could do that there. And so this is how to install Redmine. A fairly complicated installation, but with World, it's actually quite easy. And we're done. Until next time.